Okay, I believe we are live. We will wait for some folks to get in here. I'm going to play with this quickly. Okay, so if when I have it like that, they can see us both. So I'm going to put it like this so I can give you a proper introduction, madam.
Alrighty.
Oh, how's the weather with you?
It actually was very nice today. It was
Yeah?
in the 50s or 60s, but it was sunny all day.
Okay, good. Yeah, we had like high 40s, low 50s, and that isn't typical. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm hot in this coat."
Yeah, it felt hot in my house today.
Oh,
Maybe because I
goodness.
was moving all day long.
Yeah, cleaning out the garage and whatnot.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see. It looks like we have somebody on. Hello, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. We shall see. I'll just wait a couple more minutes. Everybody might have the itis too, It is
They might be
dinner
on
time,
the second and third round of
right?
crossover.
And shopping online and whatnot. So we'll see. Goodness. Okay. Hi, Darius. Thank you for letting me know that you can hear me. You're so supportive. I love it. Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today on Flow Friday, we are talking all about money, honey. And I
Mhm.
feel like it's really good timing with it being Black Friday. And before I wanted to really, I guess we wanted to catch you before you went Black Friday shopping or kind of stop you in your tracks just to talk about some of these things because we know this is when everybody tends to go out and do what we do best for the holidays, which is be super consumers, right? So today we are talking with Miss Emily V. Macklin. She is the founder of Think Legacy Financial Coaching. Her mission is to help corporate career women position themselves for entrepreneurship by overcoming money and mindset blocks. She helps women to build a better budget, to maximize their current income, and boost their confidence and competence in money. She is a proud wife and mom of 3 children and values both faith and finance. She uses this unique approach of combining faith and finance to build confidence and competence in 4 unique areas: mindset, skills and knowledge, behavior, and stewardship. Emily is a money coach who has spent the last 20 years working in corporate finance in various roles as accountant, senior business analyst, and chief staff to finance executives at 2 different Fortune 100 companies, y'all. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring Miss Emily in. Hi, Emily.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, happy Friday. How you feeling?
I'm good. Happy Friday to you. Thank you for inviting me on tonight.
You are so welcome. I'm glad that you can make it. And thank you again for being on the podcast, the episode that aired this week. I've been getting phenomenal feedback. So thank you for
Oh,
sharing your
good.
wisdom with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I enjoyed being on it. I'm a podcast newbie, so thank you for being such a gracious host.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm sure after this, you're going to be invited to so many other podcasts because you were dropping a whole lot of knowledge. Yay.
Well, I hope so. So, podcasters out there, your girl is available.
Come through, other podcasters. We got a money coach. And then we have one of my good girlfriends, Gail Rice, who just joined. So hey, Miss Gail, how are you?
Hi, Miss Gail. Thank you for rocking with us this.
Yes. Now, I didn't get any questions as of yet. So before we dive in, I know I read your bio, but I wanted you to take some time and tell us a little bit how you ended up in this money coaching space and what you help women do. I'm gonna
Yeah.
sip my wine while I do that. So
Okay. Okay. Have your wine.
it's a big
So,
cup.
as Nicole mentioned, I have been in the corporate finance space for the past 20 years. I started out, in accounting and have worked in various areas in finance, but I realized recently that I I have always had a knack for personal finance as well, and just numbers in general. I tell you, I actually wanted to be a teacher or instructor, all the way up to 11th grade, and I took an economics. It was a an economics class, I think it was, and an accounting class. And from there, I'm like, okay, my major is accounting, so I was one of those, and went to college, and exactly what I wanted to major in, and never wavered from that. But I also fell in love with balancing a checkbook. I know it's probably
Listen,
nerdy and weird, but I absolutely just loved, numbers from a personal perspective as well. And I tell you, when I was 23, I really had this vision of building this huge real estate empire. And I didn't even share this part of my story on the podcast with you, but and so I started buying real estate at 23 years old. And by the
ooh,
time I was 27, 28, I had like $1.5 million worth of real estate.
say
And
what?
at that time, the 2008, 2009 real estate crash hit too. It absolutely destroyed my finances.
Wow.
Destroyed it. I lost every bit of that real estate in that economic downturn. And so while I've never, experienced not having a job or not being able to generate income, that was really devastating to me. So bouncing back from that, I had to go through my own struggle financially.
Yeah.
Whenever you have rental properties and maybe you don't have renters, you got to cover that with your own personal finance. And that
Mm-hmm.
threw my personal financial situation into a tailspin. And so over being able to overcome that, it really drove my desire to be able to help people overcome their own financial struggles. After I overcome that, I remember being in a situation just literally crying. Like, oh my
Mm,
God, my credit is terrible. I'm not gonna be able to get a house again. I mean, it was horrible.
yeah.
It was
But you pulled
absolutely
yourself up
horrible.
by your bootstraps, right?
And
And
you
you
got to
got it
pull yourself
together.
up. Absolutely. And you know what? I overcame it. And that's the message that I always want people to know. I don't care how bad it is. You can overcome whatever it is. It may take you 2 months, it may take you 2 years, it may take you 10 years, but there is
Mm-hmm.
something you can always be doing to make your own financial situation better. And so, again, I want that mess to share that message as a coach. And that's what I help people do. I don't care how bad it is. I want to give you that hope, and not only hope and encouragement, I want to give you the steps to do it, the
Yes.
tangible, practical steps to reclaim your economic power.
Good. Well, I'm so glad that you do that because, as you said, everybody is at different places in their finances, right? And the
Mhm.
whole point of what both of us do is to let other women know that they're not alone, right?
Yep.
You can have $1 million in real estate like you did, and then it all gets swept from underneath you and you have to rebuild.
Yep.
And so it's this process of really making sure that you know where you're at and then getting to where you want to be and taking the steps to do that.
Yep.
And so, a big part of what you do actually is with mindset. So, talk to us a little bit about that. And if there are questions, by the way, I see more people are coming in. Hey, Nastasio, if there are questions throughout us talking, feel free to drop them in the chat so that we can come back to them. Okay. So, yes, if you want to talk to us about the mindset piece.
Absolutely. So your money mindset, and as she mentioned, there are 4 areas that my coaching is really built around: mindset, skill set, behavior, and stewardship. And really, when you think about your money, you is one of those 4 areas that
Mhm.
you are lacking in. Whenever you have issues that you can't overcome, but mindset is the most important. What does the Bible say? Okay, I can't think of the verse now.
It's okay. It's because you're on the spot.
And the thing is that you are, so however you view yourself, however you view your money, that is what you're going to be. But the thing is about your mindset, it is deciding first that you want to change. It must become a desire, it must become a need, it must become a belief that you can have a better situation. It has to be a belief. So mindset is where we start first. And the way we do it, we start looking at what was your earliest money memory. There are mindsets that you've had since you were yay high, and they are still influencing how you handle money every single day, unbeknownst to you, because most times we don't consciously take the time to look at, well, why do I overspend every time I get in a fight with my spouse? Why am I scared to spend money? I've got $1 million in the bank and I'm scared to spend it. And that is a problem. People have that problem, okay?
I believe
it may
you.
not seem like a problem, but some people have that problem.
I'm going to need that problem. Hand that problem to me.
Too, right
quick.
You know what? It's all mindset. There are things that you saw growing up, things that you heard growing up, things that you experienced growing up that have shaped exactly the mindset that you have now around money. And it takes time. That is the starting point with coaching, or with my particular brand of financial coaching, is figuring out, okay, what do I believe about money, and how did I get here?
I think that's important. And as you were talking, I was thinking about one of the other areas in mindset is really just kind of acknowledging where you are, right? Because if you aren't even able to say, hey, there is a problem, and see that there's more money going out than there is coming in, that puts you in a whole different category. So I want us to all think about, hey, do I even know my numbers? Which is something that we talked about on the podcast, because you may think that because you have money coming in, even if you have multiple, sources and are a millionaire, you may not realize that you're spending just as much. So part of that means making sure that you absolutely know what your numbers are. With that, I also wanted to, I guess, dive in a little bit and talk about a post that I made earlier this week that came from our time together talking, which was around money habits. And I know that you coach women who are looking to, who are just over, tired, done with it, through with corporate, who are looking to branch out, into entrepreneurship. And it touched me so much. Like I said, I posted it, and you said that if your personal finances are raggedy, your business finances gonna be raggedy too. So let's talk about that, because they're really intertwined, right?
They are going to be intertwined, because here's why. If you are mishandling your personal finances, when you get funds that are when you generate revenue from your business, the services or products that you're providing, you are likely going to handle those business finances the exact same way you handle your personal finances. So as Nicole mentioned, that's one way that I serve the women who I serve, is doing coaching that allows them to become financially savvy in their personal finances as they prepare to take the leap into entrepreneurship, into a revenue generating business, understanding what those numbers are. As she mentioned, knowing your numbers. I broke that down in a live stream earlier this week, but it is really knowing what your monthly cash flow looks like. Do you know exactly how much money you have coming in and how much money you have going out? Do you know what it costs to be you? Do you know what your life cost you?
What if people say, yeah, in my head, of course I know. I'm paying the bills. It's automatic. It's coming out of my account. Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody does that back of the envelope or in their brain math, and
autopilot.
No. But do you know? Because that's the beauty of having a budget. And I know that's a 4-letter word. Y'all don't log off. Just out. Just stay right here. I promise you, it's not painful. A money plan, budget, spend plan, whatever you want to call it. The thing about it is, whenever you take the time to get organized, that's what I feel a budget does for you. It just gets you organized. It gets you organized. It's just a plan, a roadmap for how you're going to spend, save, and give for the month.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a legitimate budget, it tells you one of three things. It tells you if you are operating your life yourself at a deficit, meaning you got more money going out than you have coming in. It tells you if you have a balanced budget, you got exactly enough coming in that you need to go out. Or if you're at a surplus, you got more coming in than what you have going out, which is where you want to be. But if you're not tracking those numbers, if you don't know those numbers, you likely don't know which one of those three you're operating in. So that's why it's important to take time to understand what your numbers are.
Yeah. And from that, you can really be super stressed if you don't know what those numbers are, or in turn, if you figure out that you are at a deficit, right?
Mhm.
And one of the things that we talked about too was how your money plays into your capacity, right?
Mhm.
Your mental capacity, your emotional capacity. Because some of us have these emotional triggers as to why we're spending. We're holding on to the different fears, like you said, being a millionaire and not wanting to let it go, maybe because of something that you personally went through or saw a family member go through. And so I want to ask you to talk a little bit about some of the different myths that we were talking about before we started going live. I know I didn't share them with you, but I'm going to put you a little on the spot, but you a money coach. I know you got this. So one of the first myths that I have over here is that I don't earn enough to save. Let's talk about that.
That goes back to those mindsets, those beliefs. If you believe that you don't earn enough to save, if you wholeheartedly believe that, do you think you're ever going to even try? No, you're not. You're not going to even try to save. You're not ever going to experience the benefits of saving. That's why it's important to explore, what do I really believe about money?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a model, there's a mental model that I absolutely love. There's a life coach, her name is Brooke Castile, and she has this model that really lays out the framework for how we experience our thoughts and how they generate our actions. So she says our thoughts lead to our feelings. So how we think about something, how we think about money, or how we think about a thing, it generates how we feel about it. And our feelings drive our actions, and our actions drive our results. So if you think you don't deserve or you don't make enough money to save, how do you feel about it? You're probably feeling unmotivated. You're probably
Scared.
feeling scared. You're probably feeling like you can't do anything to change. And as
Mm-hmm.
a result, you're taking no action at all, or you're taking action that is sabotaging any efforts that you would ever do to try to save, overspending,
Yes.
overgiving. And then as a result, you have no savings. So it takes a little bit of introspection time to just explore, how do I think about money?
Yeah.
How do I feel about money? And then once you kind of take those thoughts all the way through, then you kind of understand why you have a bank account that's completely empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. And I know a couple other people joined. Hey, Ma. My mom, Miss Meredith Cranshaw, joined. Nastacio's
Ooh,
here. We have Carla Patton here.
Carla is my
Christy.
friend. Hi,
Hey,
Carla. Thank you for
Carla.
joining.
And we have Miss Chanel and Christy Carbone. So thank you all for joining and tuning in. Feel free, I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, as we're talking, if questions come up or there are topics that you want us to talk about as it pertains to money, make sure you leave that in the comments because we're going to dive into those in a little bit. So as you were saying, the mindset piece and the fears that come around, and if you really truly believe that you don't make enough to save, you never will. And I'm not ashamed to say I was part of that camp, right?
Mhm.
And part of it was because I struggled so hard being a single mom and trying to make ends meet. And I was like, nope, I can't do it. I got to pay money for daycare. I got to do food. I make too much to get any sort of assistance, which wasn't nothing but $12, $13 an hour. Whole nother conversation though, right? And so I carried that with me for the longest time. Even when I got into the 6-figure bracket, I was like, nope, I don't make enough to really just, put any money to the side. And so I had to come to terms with what makes me feel that way. Like, I make double what I made back then when I was feeling that way. Have I just went out and, gotten a bigger place, or have I gotten new cars, those sorts of things. So that mindset kept me stuck. Mm-hmm. Even to the point where I would say, like, I can't even afford to contribute to my 401k. I may not even get my 401k. Like, I completely psyched myself out. So I'm really glad that you touched on that.
Yeah.
I want to go to another myth that I have. So my partner manages the money, so I don't need to worry about it. Let's talk about that.
My partner manages the money, and I don't need to worry about it.
You took a deep breath. I'm ready.
Let me just say that managing money alone is difficult enough, but bringing in a second party, a spouse, a partner, a husband, a wife, whom has a whole set of different beliefs, a whole set of different experiences with money, a whole set of different mindset with money is even more difficult. I will be honest, it took me I've been married for 13 years, and it probably took me 10 of them to get on the same page.
Preach, sis, preach.
Listen, we're going to keep it 100 up here tonight, okay? It probably took me 10 of those years, at least a good 9, for us to get on the same page.
Okay.
As, wanting to be good stewards, wanting to build together. And really, here's the thing about people who earn a lot of money or earn, 6 figures. And my husband was the worst at this. There's sometimes this high sense of entitlement. I make a lot of money, so I can do what I want with the money.
Yes.
So my husband was the type that would go to the store to get like some soap and some milk, and would come home with a $600 flat screen. I'm like, wait, what?
Excuse me, sir?
For that. I've always been the planner. I'm like, not right now. I mean, you can do it, but not right now.
But does it make sense, right?
Let's just plan for it. And so, in order for you to tap into the full capacity of what 2 partners working together can do financially for your family, you want to know what's going on. You may not manage the day-to-day, and that's fine. Let the strong partner who is interested in, tracking the budget, paying the bills, making the savings deposits, that's fine. If one person who has the interest and the skill to do that does that. But you as a couple, you should be planning together. You both should know how much your income is, what your expenses are going out. You both should have goals that you have together for your family, and know how you're both working towards achieving those goals, and knowing what you're both contributing to achieving those goals. Like I said, the way you manage is okay. If one person does everything, it's even okay if you both have separate spending accounts. I'm not opposed to that. But in a high level, in general, you both have to work together when it comes to goal setting and being able to make the impact that you want to make for your family. That has to be a team effort.
Okay. So what I heard is it takes 2. It takes 2. One person might be stronger, but both people really need to understand what's coming in, what's going out, and how to manage it. So for all of y'all who listen and who thinks that you don't have to have no partner finances, I need you to get your mindset right. Okay,
exactly. You want to know what's going on. You want to know what's going on. Listen. And here's another. 2020 has taught us that either one of us could not be here tomorrow. So we want to have an idea of your family's financial situation. If you are, for God forbid, left in the situation where you have to take over, you have to be the one that financially cares and sees after the family now. You want to be able to do that without the stress and strain and going into, a financial tailspin.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that you brought that up because in the times that we're in, it is 1,000 times more risky, right? You know, God forbid, don't want nobody to get Rona, get hit by a car, hit by a bus, none of that. But you brought up such a good point. I really appreciate you saying that because even just knowing what's going on, even if the other partner manages it, is going to help you in the event that you need to, right? So you need to get on your need to know basis
Right.
and understand at least what's happening with the money. So thank
Right.
you for that.
Right, right. And one thing I want to just add one other thing
Yeah, go
when it
ahead.
comes to that. One thing that my husband and I have done is, you know, not only just the day to day, and it's really crucial when you think about life insurance policies, anything that your spouse and kids may be the beneficiary of. It's like having copies of that stuff available, organized somewhere in an envelope, if you have a safe deposit box or a safe that you keep at home, just so both of
Mm-hmm.
you know where that information is, who to contact, what is available for your family in the event of tragedy, or in the event someone becomes incapacitated. Like, really have that information available where both of you all know where it's at, you know what you have, you know what benefits you have available. you know
Mm-hmm.
in that From that perspective, you definitely want to be on the same page and aligned with how you will take care of your family in the event that something happens.
Yeah. I used to think that having a safe was for rich people and that I didn't make enough to do that, right? And so after partnering with Patrice Washington, you'll hear me talk about her all the time because she's like my big sister and
Mm-hmm.
mentor and best friend all in my head. But in reading her
Love her.
book, yeah, and in reading her book, she talked about how important it is to be organized and how much time we spend looking for things that we've
Yes.
misplaced. So after reading that a couple of years ago, I went out and got a fireproof safe. I have copies of all of our, not only essential and important documents like birth certificates, social
Yep.
security cards, but also the life insurance policies, right?
Yep.
The the information that's needed in the event that somebody else has to manage the bills outside of me. And so
Yep.
it makes a world of difference. Like the other day, my husband asked me for, I think, our son's social security card for something. And I had it
Mm-hmm.
within like 3 seconds. He's like, where was that at?
Yep.
Very
Yep.
organized. That's where it was.
Yeah, and it
So,
can be as simple. I keep an accordion folder that I got at Target for probably $8.
mhm.
That has a bunch of folders in there, and like you said,
And all the school supply stuff are on sale right now too. So go get you a accordion binder. I just seen them. I'm just saying they're still on sale.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can get them very inexpensively. It doesn't have to be like a fancy file cabinet or anything, but where you can put folders where, like she said, birth certificates, social security numbers, car titles, insurance, and um, you know, any kind of paperwork. Just keep it all organized. That helps you really feel confident about how you're managing. Whenever you are organized, like, it makes a difference, because you don't want to have to find something and then you got to go to that junk drawer in the kitchen and try to scrounge around to
Oh,
find it.
child.
I
Don't
know,
nobody want to go
I
to
know,
the
I
junk
got one,
drawer.
because I got one too. I just got all my important stuff out of the junk drawer now. I got it
I
in
do
one
too.
place.
Before reading
So,
Patrice's book, that's where all of my stuff was. I was like, so I really got to go through this. And it makes you be more aware too. It helps you
yeah,
realize kind of where you're at.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I have a couple of more myths, but we have a question from Chanel. Hey, Chanel. And I see that Jabari joined. Thank you for joining. So, Chanel says, do you have suggestions for people who are struggling with the black tax?
So first of all, the black tax, there's a couple of different perspectives of what it
Yeah,
is.
because what is that? I don't laugh at me. I'm like, what's that? Do tell.
So for the black tax, which I'm probably what she's referring to, is when you are the most successful one in the family, or maybe you're the one that makes, you've made it. Mama, I made it. You got the good job, you got the benefits, you got the coins,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody probably comes to you. Everybody in the family views you as the one that can always bail them out, that can always help them when they are
Mm.
financially strapped.
And that's what they call black tax. I had no
That is
idea.
what they
I've been
call
calling this something different. Okay.
that's
So
that
the caregiver, the taker care of everybody and everything.
that is part of the black tax. When you
Okay.
have made it, And there's an obligation for you to financially support others who are less successful than you are financially. And here's the thing. Who asked that question? Chanel.
Chanel. Yep. Thank you, Chanel. That's a good question. And hey, Chantel. Hey, love.
Yeah, she said yes with like 8. Okay. I was feeling you. Okay. So here's the thing. One or two things that you can do to overcome or embrace the Black tax. Number
Get your
one,
pen and paper or your phone, take some notes because I'm doing the same thing.
number one, the Black tax, it comes down to boundaries. And I am of the position of, I will help you, but not to my own detriment. Because if I'm financially stressed, how can I be of help or assistance to anybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to you either A, just saying no, I can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Setting some boundaries in place, or B, if you keep a budget, have a line item in your budget for what you have available to give people every month, whether that's $100, $50, $500. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
And let people know that, like, I don't mind helping you, but I can no longer help you as I've been doing so in the past. Can I help you in offer? A third thing you can do is offer help or assistance in a non-monetary way.
Okay.
If that's, I don't know, keeping your, nieces and nephews, or helping them find a higher paying job, or just thinking of other ways that, maybe you can offer assistance in a non-monetary way. But first and foremost, setting some boundaries around what you have to give, and whatever you do agree that you can give out of your budget without financially distressing yourself, you make that a line item in your budget and you stick to it.
Mm-hmm. So you incorporate it. Absolutely.
You incorporate it and say, this is what I can do. And don't let people guilt trip you, because their emergency doesn't have to become your financial emergency. Because just as you learn to be a good steward, they have to learn to be a good steward. And maybe that's something else you can offer. Teach them how to be a good steward.
Mm-hmm.
Teach them how to better manage their money. Because, if they are going out and continually getting themselves into financial distress, you really are an enabler at some point.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you took the words out of my mouth. And so much of this is tied to capacity, right? And the different pillars that I coach women on. So of course, cash flow is one of them, which is why we're talking. But from a heart flow perspective, everything that we say, everything that we do really comes from this place of what's in our heart. And so we want to give, we want to help, we want to be there to provide, especially if we are the most successful ones in our family, right? But we have to learn that it's not our duty and our obligation. And Chanel reposted what you said. Or maybe not to that point. I seen emergency. She said it don't even be an emergency. They just want the funds. Stop, Chanel. But to your point, Emily, their emergency isn't always your emergency. And when you draw those boundaries around, that's going to help you increase your own capacity. Because if you're mentally taxed worrying about how you going to pay your cousin bills, your mama bills, your bills, help bail somebody out, maybe not out of jail, but out of, a financial distressing situation, you don't even have any room to worry about your own stuff. So you have to start taking stuff off of your plate, period. So thank you for saying that. I think that is so key. Whew. Okay. Chanel, did that answer your question?
Does that help, Chanel? She said they don't even be emergency. You know what?
Yeah, it's not even an emergency. And Carla said that these are awesome tips and that we can't enable. And oftentimes we get caught in this pattern, whether it's financial or not, enabling the people that we love because we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, right?
Yeah.
And with that, there also comes a part of self-worth and self-esteem. And you're doing this because maybe you want to be liked, maybe you want to be loved, maybe it's just the pattern that you've been stuck in. And so because you don't want to ruffle nobody's feathers, you just kind of stick with it.
And there's probably some guilt there for being the one who is, a higher earner.
Yeah.
But no, I think you just maybe need to say no.
Yeah. Learn how to say no. Who was that? I think Dion a couple of weeks ago on one of the lives said no is a complete sentence.
It's a complete
No
sentence.
explanation. So good. If there are any other questions, drop them in. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to the last couple of myths that I pulled up. And if there are even myths that you guys have that you want us to kind of go through, then let me know. Let's see. Carla said she stopped feeling guilty about holding people accountable for being adults. You grown just like me.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. And that's where that mindset comes in, right? Like you have to figure out what's driving you to believe or feel like you have to be the one to take care of everybody, right? Is it something that happened when you were younger that made you think, you know what? It is my job. You're not responsible for other adults. And that's it.
That's so true.
Okay. So, we talked about this one, right? You have to be rich to invest. Did we say that one or no? Mm-hmm. Oh, so let's talk about that one. Let me cross it off. So that's one that comes up often. As I mentioned, I was afraid to even invest in my own 401k because I thought that it was going into this mysterious abyss of money that I would never see, not realizing that it was actually helping me. And oftentimes, if you're in a corporate environment, there are matching programs that they have. And so you're leaving free money on the table. And if your mindset is that, you know, I can't afford to even contribute to my 401k, you need to reach out to Emily so that she can help you, first and foremost. Secondly, let's talk about this. You have to be rich to invest. Go on and bust this myth down.
You have to be rich to invest. And first of all, if you feel, again, let's take it back through the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, the results. If you feel, if you don't even feel like you're rich, you're not going to invest. You're not going to take the time to try to get the knowledge to properly invest, to understand that investing is probably the number one, maybe number two way to build wealth.
Yes.
You're not even going to try. That is the thing about these unproductive mindsets. You are shooting yourself in the foot every single time. And here's the thing, if you got $2, you can invest.
They have penny stocks.
If you got a job, you can invest. It just needs to become a priority. Mm-hmm. And the way it can become a priority is by educating yourself. I know
I'm glad my edge is slick because so you can't snatch mine off. Come on now.
Most of you who are putting your money into a 401k, you probably ask the person in the cubicle next to you what you got your money invested in.
Yes. Or you come to HR and come to my office and say, hey, what am I supposed to do with this?
Where should I put my money? You don't even understand. So it is you, again, going back to these adults, you have to take control of your own financial life and understand, go find out what is a target fund, what is an index fund, what is a stock, what is a bond, what are ratio fees. I'm not saying you got to go deep, but you need to understand enough to understand how important investing is and how what is compound interest. If you don't understand these things, go get help. Hire an advisor or a planner, but help yourself too. Pick up a book, listen to a podcast, watch a YouTube video,
Google something.
Prosper.
Yeah. And with that too, if you are working in corporate, you have access typically to an employee assistance program. So this is the HR in me. Y'all always gonna get it. It's near and dear to my heart. Over a decade in the HR space, 20 plus years in corporate. So I'm going to tell you about the resources that are good for you. So with an employee assistance program, they have financial tools available to you free of charge, 100% free, 100% confidential, that help you to understand what these different things are. Like Emily said, compound interest, what are stocks, what are bonds, helping you really to shape the picture and build your knowledge so that you can increase your capacity and then maintain and build wealth.
Exactly. So, and even I know with my company, Fidelity manages our 401k program. They have advisors available for you to call and talk to. If you don't understand where you are investing your money, if you want to understand what an all stock index fund is or an all bond, like there are resources available. You got to tap into it. You got to take the responsibility to go educate yourself. And when you start to understand that if I invest $50,000 today or the first 5 years of my working life, that could potentially turn into $1 million at the end of my career, you would probably be investing and maxing out your 401k. I'll be honest, at 21 years old, when I went into the workforce, I didn't understand maxing out your contributions to your 401k or maxing out your contributions to a Roth IRA. Matter of fact, one of the biggest money mistakes that I made was not getting a Roth IRA when I could, because right now I make too much money to actually invest in a Roth IRA. But a Roth IRA, your money is deposited into a Roth IRA. Your contributions are after tax. And any money that you put into a Roth IRA grows tax-free until you withdraw it.
And then you don't have to pay those taxes on it like you would with the other way.
Tax on the earnings. You've already paid tax on the contributions. A Roth IRA is probably one of the greatest tools available to build wealth. My children will have a Roth IRA when they get their first job at Chick-fil-A because I want them to work at Chick-fil-A. Anyway, let's get back to the point. When they get their first job, they will have a Roth IRA that they will contribute to every single year. You can put $6,000. I think it's $6,000. It changes every year. But $6,000 a year into a Roth IRA. Can you imagine doing that from the age of 16 all the way to the age of 60?
Listen, and we're not taught, honestly, I know that, of course, this isn't for just people who are not melanated, right? But I know with me growing up, I didn't know what the hell an IRA was, right? I didn't know about 401k. I didn't learn about that. And I completely dismissed it for a long time. And so if we start to not only teach ourselves, but teach our children and our family members how to navigate through these things, everybody gonna be millionaires. We all
have the capacity to be a millionaire. And see, here's the thing about I just had this discussion on LinkedIn with on a post that I made about how parents, I challenge everybody. I'm an adult now. I'm a parent now. And of course, my parents didn't really teach me any of this. Their parents didn't teach them any of that. Of course, their parents, I will be the one that stops that. Because if I don't take the time to learn and to teach my kids, every generation after me is going to be impacted. That's what this thing
same way
comes in. Every single. So I challenge parents. I challenge people to be the one to stop the misinformation, to stop the miseducation, to get the knowledge to not only turn around your finances, but you got to teach your kids how to do the same, so they don't even have to deal with the same financial struggles that you have dealt with. Like it's not even going to be a thing with them.
That's what think legacy is, right? You're thinking legacy for the long term. You're not thinking about just now. Yes, you're going to reap the benefits, but your children and your children's children and generations to come are going to have this financial mindset so different from the things that our parents didn't learn, so that we didn't learn. You have to be the one to be the change. Be the change you want to see. I see comments going off over here. Let me see quick. So, oh, hey, Susie. Susie said it's taken her years to stop taking care of everyone. Yeah, same here. Christy said, amen. Carla said, fellow HR. Hey, HR. Whoop, whoop. Love HR.
She has a twin sister, and they are like HR rock stars. So
get out of here. We need to connect. I love my HR folks.
They are fantastic. They have a podcast too. It's called The Career Salon. And
get out of here. Oh my gosh. I'm writing this down. Okay, Carla, good. I'm going to connect with you after this. The Career Salon. That's so dope.
They are doing like dope work. I mean, it's
okay. Good. Yay. Yes, Carla. I'm absolutely going to connect with you. And then Chanel Jackson, she just said, yes. Yeah. Like all of this stuff that we're doing, we are not just doing for us, you know? So let's talk about a couple more myths. So we talked about the partner. Carrying a credit card balance is good for your credit.
Carrying a credit card balance is good for your credit. Here's the thing.
Let me get my scarf. You about to snatch something. I feel it in the atmosphere.
That don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. And because here's the thing, any kind of balance that you have on a credit card, and listen, don't let me make you think that I haven't had this issue, that I have not, been in credit card debt, because I have. Okay. So when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. Okay.
Yeah.
But
and Susie said she just paid her credit cards off and they dropped her score 20 points. What is that all about?
You know what? It's a mystery sometimes with the way this credit card works. But the thing about the credit card balances, so there are 5 aspects of your credit card or your credit score. And one of those is your utilization. So usually whenever you carry a balance, your score may go down a little bit because of the utilization. So the optimal place to have your balance is at least no more than
30%, right?
No more than 30% of what your limit is. If you keep all of your cards below, then you can usually see the benefit in your score. When you go above that, you may start to see it drop a little bit. But here's the thing now, back in the summer, FICO, which is of course one of the most popular credit reporting or credit, it's not a reporting agency, but one of that calculates the score. It's one of the most popular scores that most lenders use to determine your credit worthiness, right? So they changed that formula, and every year they make changes to the formula of how your score is actually calculated. And so they made a change, and you may have heard about this in the news, that was going to impact like 80 million consumers.
Was it TransUnion?
No, where the FICO score, the way it was
the FICO score, okay.
So carrying a balance worked against you if you got over the 30%, limit, right? The way they've changed the credit score, and I think it happened back in October, that now, because before they only looked at a short period to score your score. And if you had a balance, maybe you had a balance at the beginning of the year, and then in the middle of the year, you paid it off. That worked for you, towards you. That worked for you. But now they've changed the way the FICO 10 score is calculated, that if you have a balance that you've carried for 2 years, or you've consistently carried a balance, it's going to negatively impact your score. So that's why I say it don't even make sense. And for you to carry a balance, you are also stealing from your future earnings. You are handcuffing your future earnings and your future self. Now, what may have cost you $100 to buy, it's going to cost you $150 to actually pay off the credit card when you let a balance linger on and on and on.
Yeah.
So think about, you are stealing from your future self when you continually carry a balance and you can continually let a balance grow. You are stealing from yourself. You are stealing, you're tying up, handcuffing your future earnings.
Yes. Ooh. Thank you for dispelling that. I sure appreciate it. It's crazy because I had that conversation with one of my younger cousins the other day, and talking about how he didn't really want to pay. I think it was a loan or something off too fast. And I'm like, boy, if you don't knock that out, get it done. You got the money. Let's see. Camille says, yeah, it makes no sense.
That's Carla's twin. That's the other half of the HR salon.
Hey, other HR. Look it. Yay. I got 2 new friends, y'all. Y'all don't know it yet, but y'all my new friends. I'm just saying. You have to share, Emily.
People, y'all. She's good people.
Thank you. And Susie's saying that she hopes her score will bounce back in the next month. I'm sure that it will. And that she's been there and done that, and that's why she pays in full. Absolutely, right? Like, no, makes no sense. So, I think the last one that I have on here is the myth around having a savings account and using it for your emergency rainy day opportunity fund. So the myth is that you should have that savings fund or opportunity fund, whatever you decide to call it, in an account that you have access to, like at the same bank. I need it there basically because what I've heard and I hear come up is I need to have it at that same bank in case I need to get to it.
Oh, the myth
You see
is
what I'm
to have
saying?
it at the same bank. Okay.
Yeah.
If you listen, if you cannot be trusted, you don't need to have it at the same bank. If you don't have the discipline to not touch that money unless it is for the purpose that you have put it aside, then you don't need to have it at the same bank. Come on now,
Yeah.
we got to put systems in place that protect
Yes.
us against our own selves when it comes to money. If you don't have the discipline, the commitment to not touch that money, you need to have it at a separate bank. Now, if you have that discipline and that commitment to let that money stay where it needs to stay, and you know, if you can see that balance every day and not feel like, oh, let me just dip in here a little bit.
Let me just get $10.
Let me get
I'll buy these
$100.
new shoes.
Let me
I
get,
always talk about
I don't
shoes.
want to put it on my credit card, or I don't want to, take $100 out of my checking account. Let me just dip in here a little bit. Now, if you do too much dipping, you're not gonna have any money there. Now, if you are a dipper, you don't need to have it in the same bank.
Yeah.
That's just period. Don't have it in the same bank. Or if you have problems, maybe you can save a lot of money for a short period of time and then you go in there and get it. Maybe you need to put your money into I'm trying to think where you put them in there and
you can't touch it, like the
you can't
CDs.
touch it for a certain period of time. I can't even think of what the name of it is, but it's
The CDs, right?
a CD. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So put a portion of your money into a CD. That's another kind of a stopgap that will keep you from dipping in every so often. But you know what? I personally believe in not only saving, and I think this is the reason why most people can't save, is because they save without purpose.
Yes.
They save without purpose. You just got money. Maybe you got the message from grandmama and from mama, from daddy that, oh, I need to save for a rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have any purpose with your savings, meaning I have an account for my emergency fund. And what is my emergency or opportunity fund? My opportunity fund or emergency fund, it's only for if I lose my income or if I lose my job. That is my safety net for my family. That is my safety net. Now, I like to save in multiple accounts where multiple purposes. So if I'm saving for a vacation, I got a vacation fund. That gives your money purpose. That gives you commitment, gives you direction so that you know, okay, I got this $100. I'm going to put $100 going to my vacation fund. I'm going to put $100 going to my Christmas fund. I'm going to put another, $50. Give your money direction, give it purpose, tell every dollar where to go. Give every dollar a job. Yes. Every dollar that comes into your bank account should have a job. It's either going to be taking care of your current needs right now, or it's going to be taking care of your future needs, your future children. Yes. Give your money purpose. And I'm talking about every single dollar.
Yeah. And you talked about that on the podcast, like how each and every dollar has to have purpose. So I want to make sure that if you have not listened to the podcast, you can go wherever you listen. It's on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all the different platforms. So go check Emily and I out and listen, because she goes really, really into detail around that. And I wanted to say too, like you, I have the different funds, right? So I have an opportunity fund. I have, when we could go to concerts, because I love live music, I have a concert fund, vacation fund, like birthday funds, all of those different things where I'm consistently depositing money into those, and I'm doing it automatically. That's the other thing, right? Like, don't sit and wheel and deal with yourself. And you also say in the podcast, don't trust yourself, right?
You can't be trusted.
No, like make it be automatic, because like I said, I was one of those who thought and acted as if I couldn't afford to save even after making six figures. Even if you're putting $5 away and it's coming out automatically, you don't even notice it. Right. And so then you're able to increase those, but really making sure that, number one, you are putting it in a place where you don't have access So whether it's a CD, an online account that you decide not to get a card to, just something that
Right.
is not immediately accessible, and to making sure that it has a purpose, because
Right.
every single dollar has a job.
Right. As long as it's liquid, meaning you can get it relatively fast. It may take a day or two to transfer, or you may have to drive across town to get it, but you can still have access to it, even if it's not convenient. That will help you if you don't make it convenient.
Make it inconvenient. That's the whole point, right? Attach
Yeah.
it to your goal and make it inconvenient. So good. Well, I know we've been on here for about an hour, so I want to see if there are any questions. Girl, yeah, 55 minutes. We've been going. It's been good. I didn't see any other questions come up, but I know I have a tendency to scroll real fast and jump on off here. So if I missed a question, please say something to us. Otherwise, Emily, I want to give you an opportunity to tell everybody, of course, where to find you, what you're working on. I know you have a program that you're going to be launching, and you have some discovery calls and all that good stuff, because you are the bomb.com. Hey, Mimi, I love you too, babe. That's my sister, girl.
Oh, thank you, Cindy, for being on.
So yeah, tell us what you have going on, how people can work with you, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah. So again, as I've mentioned earlier, I primarily work with women who are in corporate America, but the desire to go into entrepreneurship, but their personal finances are holding them back. So I have a financial coaching program that I'm going to be launching. And I'm going to be sharing, I have a private training that's coming up on December 6th at 6 p.m. And where I'll be sharing some of the details around that program. It's kind of a dual program. So there's a part that's financial coaching and a part that's going to be business coaching. So if you have an idea, you don't know where to start, this might be the program for you.
Okay.
So check me out. You can get registered. It's absolutely free of charge. December 6th, and you can register for that at bit.ly/bet on yourself 2021.
Send that to me and I'll put it in when I share this replay.
Okay.
So that everybody has access. In case y'all didn't write it down, don't worry. I'll share it with you.
And I'll put it in the chat too. I got it.
Okay.
Secondly, if you you think financial coaching may be for you and you want to find out, I do offer 20-minute discovery calls. Excuse me, 20-minute discovery calls where I talk to you about my program and see if it's a good fit. We talk about what your issues are and if those are issues that I can solve. Excuse me.
Okay, babe. I'm gonna say, get your water.
Ooh, what's going on here?
It's okay.
So we talk about, whether those are issues that, I can solve. And I primarily work with people who are high earners and they live paycheck to paycheck. And they're ready to give up that paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. Excuse me.
It's okay.
They're ready to give up that paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. And so those calls, you can schedule those at bit.ly/chat money with Emily to schedule a 20-minute discovery call. Like I said, we talk about what's going on and see if I can help you solve it. And we talk about, just the details of my coaching program, how much it costs and how many sessions and all of that in a discovery call. So, good. And you guys, I
more.
Love Instagram nowadays. And so I hang out there more than I do here on Facebook. I go live every Tuesday morning at 6:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time. So follow my Facebook page. It is my name, Emily Macklin _money coach. Follow me there. And hop on and join me on some of my Tuesday talks on Tuesday mornings at 6:30 a.m. Sometimes I broadcast Facebook as well, but I am
Doing a
not.
little bit of both. And
I
they
am not
good, y'all. She come
that
with the energy.
technology savvy. So, if I feel like being fancy, I might do both of them. But most of the time, I'm just on Instagram. So join me there.
Yeah. And you have so much energy when you do them. I love it because
Oh,
some
thank
people
you.
still like, with most folks working from home, rolling out of bed and rolling over to their computer to do their work. But you come fully suited and booted, all high energy with such good, valuable information. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining and supporting me on Tuesdays. My family looks at me like I'm crazy because I kind of wake up and I'm like ready to go. I'm dancing, I'm singing, and it's like
They tell you to turn it down a notch,
and
huh?
they like, "Ugh, but why? It's 6 in the morning." So that's just who I am. So I like mornings.
Yeah. Good. Well, I have not seen any additional questions come in. So I want to again thank you so, so much for not only joining me here tonight to answer questions, but also being such a great guest on the podcast. And again, if you have not listened to that, go download it wherever you listen to podcasts. In the show notes there, you can also find all of Emily's contact information and how to connect with her. And then I too would love to connect with you as well. If you are loving these lives, let me know. If you'd like to connect with me and learn more about how I coach women and help them create balance between their personal and professional life and ultimately free up their capacity so they can show up in excellence, make sure you get on my emailing list because I am going to be launching my program relatively soon as well. And I have a brand new capacity calculator,
Oh,
free. Yes, free capacity
gotta
calculator.
get that.
Yes, that really helps you take a look at and measure your own capacity. It's a quick little 15-20 minute, 15-20 question survey that you'll take, and it really makes you think about what is a priority, and it gives you an automatic answer. And so you can get that by joining my email list on my website, NicoleRoan.com. But other than that, y'all, I hope this was helpful, that you enjoyed it. I thank you for showing up each and every week. Feel free to leave us feedback, and then I will make sure to post this when you see the replay. If this helped you, make sure you share it with other people. We really appreciate you guys. And I hope y'all not spending too much money on this Black Friday, okay? Because we talked about we didn't spend no money today. I'm so glad. And then Emily has put all of her information in the chat. So make sure if you are wanting to join that free private training or set up a discovery call, you have all the information. And again, I'll also include it in the replay. So if you're watching the replay, hey, thank you for doing that. And we will talk to you soon. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.